What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about my new track, HEADZ, with Hekler and GRAVEDGR. This is an amazing track. I'm going to be breaking down the second drop for you guys. It's going to be freaking awesome. I can't wait to show you all these awesome sounds in here. Quick house notes before we get started. 4XL and 5XL hoodies are now back in stock along with the brand new colorways, Ballerina Blue, Power Trip Pink. The new Phase 2 hoodies come in the brand new colorways, but also, check it out. So the brand new Phase 2 hoodies here, more modern look here, just kind of moved the logo up into the left-hand corner of the chest. HEADZ. I mean, the way that this kind of came together, we were all at Hekler's house. It was just one of those things where we were just throwing ideas off of each other, and we were kind of just feeling each other out. You know, we've hung out before, but not, you know, together all the time like we had started after that point. It turned into, for me at least, some sort of competition, friendly competition, where, you know, who can make the hardest drop, you know? So GRAVEDGR came through with this, and I came through with this part, and then Sean came through with this, which is like some crazy, like, I don't even know. I don't even think we ended up using it, but yeah, but we all had all these things, and it was collaboration the whole way through. I'm horrible at explaining things if you haven't noticed, but long story short, you know, Hekler threw down the first drop, I threw down the second drop, and GRAVEDGR threw down, well, basically everybody. It was GRAVEDGR and Hekler. They threw down on that third drop, and because Hekler wanted to try this more melodic approach, which he's never done in any of his songs. So we kind of like walked him through, you know, sort of how to use these, you know, super saws and whatnot. It was really cool, really fun experience. So let's hop into the second drop here. I'm gonna show you guys my part here. Let's jam it.
It's a new breed, player. Player.
Ah, my gosh. Duh, this song is just hard. I don't know, man. That just gets me going. So first thing is first. Let's hop in. We're gonna take a look at the bass section and obviously the synth section here. So let's just kind of solo out what's going on in the synth section, right? So here we go. It's like an extremely crunchy mixdown, but it's also clean, super clean at the same time. But it feels like it's super like congested, but it's not. And when you hear that in context with everything else, so let's kind of break everything down here. We have the top section here, which is S1, which stands for Screech 1, and basically I've got the classic pop screeches 3-piece combo. One to the right, one to the left, one playing down the middle, and they're basically giving you the rhythm that's playing on top of these, the foundational synths, right? So let's play the synths S1 with the drums so you can kind of get a feel for the rhythm. Down an octave. So we've got the upper octave, lower octave combo here, and it's just playing with the same theme because the main synths are ba 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 ba. That's what the pop screeches are for. They add that additional rhythm that helps you sort of move to the song, you know? It's that thing that's really helping you ride on it, right? Now, if we move in to the actual synths themselves, and I did these screeches in Synth 1. There's a video actually on how to make a screech like this. It's just how to make a screech in Synth 1 in 10 minutes. Go watch that video. So let's move into the synth section here. You think it goes da 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 da, but that's where the screeches come in, right? And then also you've got the drums that emphasize the. It's ba da ba ba ba. See, but it really just goes. It doesn't go ba ba, it just goes ba ba. See? Music magic, movie magic. So I did all these patches in Serum, and it was funny because when we were all working on our parts and you know, throwing things back and forth, I was taking the longest. I took the longest to make out of all the drops and all the sections of this song, I took the absolute longest. I had everybody waiting, bored, on their phones, like borderline, like agitated, like why is this guy taking so long on all these sounds? Because I was just tweaking and really just looking for these things. Because as you notice here, the harmonics and the tonalities and the different ways that they play off of each other is extremely intricate in this, and that just came down to a lot of tweaking in Serum. So let's go ahead and solo each of these sounds here in the synth section here. So first one is the foundational flatbed. So before we open up any of the patches, we're going to listen to them soloed out. So that is just the straight up sustain that you hear. So now listen for that sound in the entire thing. It's in the back. So that sound is playing in the back. It's like, it's just like the thing it's over the top, but it's in the back, right? Then the next sound we have is this, which is the main sound that you're really hearing. It's my Skylark preset, and I actually believe this is one of my sample packs. I don't know which one. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know I made this for one of the packs. We'll hop into how it's made, though, but listen to it. And for all these patches, obviously the low end is coming from a separate group, which we'll talk about. It's in the bass section, which is up above. And basically, I'm low cutting all of these synths because I don't need them to play any low end, right? So a lot of these things are definitely low cutted above a 200 or 150 to 200 hertz. They're low cutted there or above that for all these sounds. And I throw an overdrive on all my patches just to kind of spice things up when I'm starting the patch, because it gives me a good starting point. And then also for this one, I've got thermal on here, which is from Output. Pretty sure I just used the preset. Yeah, Rejuvenator. And so without the Rejuvenator, with it just, I don't know, it makes it a little brighter and a little bit, just a little hotter, you know? And so I really like that. Thermal's awesome. And then I used Fresh Air. I don't know why I used Fresh Air. I got really intricate with this, but without Fresh Air, with Fresh Air, I don't know. I hear the difference, but yeah, Fresh Air is fucking cool, I think. I don't know. So take a listen to this now. You got this thing that's really tugging at you. It's like, blah, blah, blah. So you're starting to get that sort of tugging feeling, right? Really cool. And then the last little bit here is right here, this sound. I actually didn't use that, so let's not talk about that. Listen for the tugging sound in the back. It sounds like it's tugging more than it actually is in the overall mix, but it's not. It's tugging, but not as much as you think it is. You really feel like, listen. It's really, really cool. So let's hop into how these sounds were made. And to tell you right off the bat, I'm horrible at explaining things sometimes, but you'll notice here when we open this up, let's talk about the sustain first. Pretty much the overarching technique that I used was a basic shapes on oscillator B with an FM from B A warp technique for all the sound design on this track. So because FM from B really allows me to dial in the amount of tonality, the certain type of tonality, how harsh, how soft harmonics are, you know. I love FM from B because it's the harmonics, you know. This is at, I don't want to fuck up the whole song, I have to reload the project, but this is at 46%. But look at, if I just change the FM from B on this A warp on oscillator A, 46%. Let's change it down. Let's just watch how the tonality can change the entire song. 46%. I'm saying that so I don't forget. Now check it. Nothing. Too loud. That's cool. That's sick. Ooh. Ugh. That hurts. But you see, I found this. I think I found the fucking sweet spot in this entire thing. Back to 46. Hopefully I can get back to it. I don't know. I don't remember what it sounded like, to be honest, but I can just reload it. As long as I don't save the damn project, it's all good. The filters for me are the aftertaste, unless I'm making a talking bass. But yeah, those are pretty much the aftertaste. I use Comb Plus on that. I've got this fucking hair in my eye. Okay, so main sound. This is my Skylark sound here. And this sound I used in the digital section. This is actually a stock plugin, or stock, not stock. This is stock. A lot of stock. This is a stock wavetable. FFT Animal 1. FM from B on the A warp. and I use this. I don't even know where this is, where I found this 000 wavetable. It's definitely a custom one from a pack or something. I have no idea because it's not popping up on where I found it, but whatever. And then I use FLG minus here, flanger minus for the filter, and it sounds like this. And without the filter is because it's a flanger. That's why it got really wide. Now without the filter on, you see it's playing more down the middle. With the filter, you see that it really widened out and kind of detuned it really nicely. Because I don't have any other detune going on here, right? Everything is at a unison of 1. But when you throw this flanger on here, it really kind of gives it this sort of distortion that's somewhere in the middle. It's kind of like distorting out and kind of warping. But then everything else is playing on the sides, which is really nice. So that was the main thing, because I needed this to pop out of the mix more than any other sound, because this is the sound that you're going to recognize, you know. Oh, fuck, it's the ba 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 ba, like it's the sound, right? Now, moving to the effects section, really basic here. I've just got a compressor with multi-band on to give it some volume. Some low cutting here. This is before I gave it the low cut. That's actually right here at the EQ8 and Ableton 220 Hertz. That's a really harsh one, but there's a lot of low end in this. And like really wanted to clean up those lower mid-range, which is arguably even more important than the low low end, you know, because that low mid-range will really muddy up your track and take away from a lot of the headroom that you're perceiving that you have. So cleaned it up here with a low cut. It's like rolling off here, and then just gave it a nice little harmonic boost somewhere around here. I don't know what I was thinking. Like I said, I was in the zone. That's the main sound. Nothing too crazy. Wavetable position is just, you know, your personal taste when you're coming up with your tone. You know, I use my wavetable positions and my A-warp to really dial in my tones, and then the aftertaste tones and harmonic stuff come from the filter. That's just sort of more creative direction, but the stirring the pot of everything and mixing the ingredients is all in the oscillator section. So yeah, that's the Skylark sound. I hope any of that made sense. Let's talk about the next sound here. I guess this would be the last sound here. It's right here. The tugging. This is the squirm layer. So we've got squirm itself. I guess they're both the same. So they're actually the same preset here that I made. And so this one is just a little bit different. It's more of a... I don't know why it's actually moving like this. Oh, it's coming back a little bit. That's sick. So the way that this is going, you can notice, watch this red dial here. It's right there. And when you hear it tugging, it's because it's coming back very slowly. The red dial is coming back very slowly to that 45% A-warp. Listen. It starts coming back down. You can see it really slowly, slightly. It's kind of coming back. So that's what's creating the tugging effect. Once again, F from B, basic shapes, comb plus this time. Without the filter, with the filter. So very subtle there, as a matter of fact. And then the width is coming from the 2D tune on the unison here. So there's actually 2 copies, which is making it sound like it's wide. Because I have a theory, the way that I make sounds is I focus on what's playing down the middle and what's playing on the sides. You know, what's in mono, what's in stereo. It's very important to think about that. So in all these sounds and these combos that make up the total sound that you're hearing, there's going to be something that's playing the sides and playing the width, and something that's playing the foundation, you know? So it's very important to think about that. So that's pretty much how these sounds were made. So I went from, if you check out the low end section, that's the last little bit we'll talk about here. It's just 808s. We're going E to F, and then in the second half we're going B to C, which is fucking insane. These 808s are nasty. So the last thing I'll talk about here is these 808s. I'm using my slump 808 here, one of my slumps, and I believe this is actually, I renamed this. This might be the 2042 808, if I'm not mistaken. I know there's somebody out there who wants that. I might be mistaken. Is this the 2042 808? I might have renamed it. But yeah, the way that I got this bad boy bumping, I've got using the utility in Ableton to put a certain amount of frequencies in mono, using the bass mono toggle with the Ableton Live stock utility. So everything at 189 hertz and below is playing in mono for this 808, because this 808 has a lot of stereo definition, and I wanted to make sure that it's not going to interfere anything on these big systems. Now moving into the EQ8, I've got a high cut and a low cut here. So let's just turn this EQ off. Turn it on. It sounds like a little bit more like bumping. On. So I shedded off all this upper high-end harmonics, and that really cleaned it up, as you can hear. And then I just kind of tightened up the low end because it was kind of warbly and muddy as you got lower. And remember, I'm playing from B to frickin' B to C on that second half, so I wanted to make sure it was tight, and I didn't mind that there would be some frequencies brick walled off, because there was enough harmonics to let the 808 feel like it was bumping, even if it might not have been, which it is. But yeah. Now the next part we have here, this is a sausage fattener. I'm using a 10% color, 10% fatness. It's something I just have a sausage fattener on all of my low end stuff, and it just, well, for the 808s that I do, and it just stays at 1010. I don't move it. I don't know why. Actually, I can probably actually delete it, but whatever. I think it does, like in the beginning stage, because it's in the first stage here. But yeah. What's making a nice difference here is the saturator, medium curve. Without the saturator, with the saturator. Pay attention. Got 3 dB of drive here, but what's really, and then 6 bass, but the real thing that's happening here is the medium curve. If I go to analog clip, it's back down. If I go to soft sine, what you want to focus on, if you're going to use this, just use medium curve or hard curve. Look, this is like medium curve. I like it because it preserves the harmonics, and it's a nice, perfect balance for me between actual belly low end and good harmonics. Look at medium curve. I could go hard curve and just be ignorant, but I'm losing a lot of low end. Yeah, see, you lose a lot of that low end. It like tightens up. It's like a fucking butt plug, you know? And then here you got this nice wide butt plug. Real nice. So now we've got Cymatics Diablo to top everything off. Without Diablo, and you notice, because it's like I'm bringing back in a lot of harmonics, right? You know, I took this out. I shedded off all that high end up here at 1.6 kilohertz, right? But that's all, it doesn't sound like that until you turn Diablo off. Now you can really notice that I took that away. It sounds muffled now, but with Diablo, I bought that motherfucker back. So yeah, Cymatics Diablo is just, this shit's fucking wild. So this is one of my 808 heats here. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about Diablo today. We'll talk about that in another video. If you guys want to hear me talk about how I use Diablo to fatten up drums, low end, all types of shit, leave a comment down below. We'll talk about it in another video. But yeah, the Diablo was the final piece of sauce on this 808. And yeah, that's pretty much pretty much it. That's all there is. That's all I'm going to talk about. So yeah. That is hard heads. Before this video gets way too long, make sure you hop on the litlords.com, grab your merch if you haven't already. Every single sample pack was $25 until December 1st. If it's before December 1st, you're still in luck. Get your ass over there and get a pack, because that's a good deal. But yeah, until next time, let me know down below in the comments what track I should break down next. Boom.